The point I want to make here is, notice, the 5 preliminaries. What are we trying to do? We understand that the peace of mind depends on the peace of mind. So, we must change our inner mental state through meditation. But the meditation masters tell us that these 5 disciplines are necessary. Now notice, our goal is peace of mind. But these 5 preliminary disciplines, they're all peace of mind. The nonviolence, 81 types of violence, but only one type of nonviolence, and that is peace. Dishonesty, hundreds and thousands of types of dishonesty, but truth is only one, and that is peace. Control of the passions, indulgence in our senses are of hundreds of types, but control, settling it down, is of one type only, and that is peace. Accumulation, hundreds and thousands of types of accumulation one can have. Just look at your own shopping cart, Amazon. But empty the cart, that is peace. Empty means don't buy it. Empty it. Non-stealing. Stealing, dishonesty and stealing can be of hundreds of types, thousands of types. But non-stealing is of one type, and that is peace. So all the 5 yamas are actually of the nature of peace. And they lead finally to meditation, deep meditation. Imagine a condition, a state attained through careful attention, where we have let go of the external world. I do not see anything, hear anything, smell, taste, touch anything. The body is stilled, carefully, fully awake, carefully stilled. The breath is deep and even. The mind is focused on one thing, maybe a mantra, maybe a visualization. Ultimately, that's also dropped. In that deep stillness, it's a kind of peace that, they say, peace that passeth understanding. We generally don't encounter in this world, in our day-to-day life. Often on this journey, people fall asleep. The reason being, people are so tired. They don't know how tired they are, exhausted in this world. So when you calm down the body, the result is mind wants to go to sleep. That's also all right. But if you can keep awake and in an absolutely calm body, absolutely calm and stilled mind, meditation is possible. This is called chitta vritti nirodha, cessation of the movements of the mind. The mind is incessantly moving. Cessation of the movements of the mind. That does not seem like a good idea to many. It's surprising. I have a hand. Now, if a hand goes on grabbing stuff, because that's what a hand is made to do, that goes on grabbing stuff all the time, you'd think it's weird, that's restless. Keep your hands quiet. Settle down. But if I have feet, but if I'm continuously walking around here and there, that's restlessness. That would be crazy. You say, settle down. For a while, sit. I remember seeing this movie, Charlie Chaplin. He gets a job in a factory. And his job is to tighten the bolts on an assembly, which is passing on an assembly line. And that's all he has to do, all day long. The thing comes and he tightens the bolt. Then it comes, he tightens the bolt. And he goes on. On lunch break, he can't stop himself. He's doing this all the time. And they call the foreman who comes and, and it's a silent movie, who is obviously yelling at him to stop doing that. And he twists the man's nose. And he's obviously helpless. He can't stop himself. It's all day long. That's what has happened to us. That's what has happened to us. Our minds are like that. We are continuously going around in the world doing this all the time. Settle down. We tell the mind to become still, because incessant thinking is incessant chatter. And it's useless chatter. And it's damaging chatter. It's like continuous self-talk. And it's self-talk of an idiotic kind. It's not a deliberately done self-talk. It's an idiotic kind of self-talk, which is an accumulation, a kind of mechanical accumulation of whatever has impacted us in life. So we quieten down that. That is a good idea, to quieten down the mind. It's an instrument. Why should you let it function all the time and overwhelm you? I often think that people who shoot themselves, kill themselves, they shoot themselves in the head. It's like, make it stop. It's going on and on. Make it stop. Meditation really makes it stop. That's why people try to drink themselves into a stupor or take drugs or whatever. Those are ways which it's like hitting the head with a hammer. But the other way of doing it is actually gaining control of the mind, making the mind a friend. In Gita, Sri Krishna says to Arjuna, you are your own best friend, you are your own worst enemy. And then he explains, the one who has gained control of their own mind, for them, they are their own best friend. The one who has not controlled their mind, they are their worst enemy. Chitta vritti nirodha, cessation of the movements of the mind. And then there are different grades of samadhi. This deepens into samadhi. How is this connected with what Sri Ramakrishna said? Coming closer to the Ganga, you feel the more deeper and quieter our meditation is, more you feel the cooling breeze of the Ganga. It becomes quieter, it becomes more peaceful. And we enjoy deep peace. Shantim nirvana paramam matsangstham adhigacchati. Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, in the 6th chapter on meditation, says in this way, Yunjan evam sadatmanam yogi niyatamanasa. The yogi with mind controlled, in this way, which we are talking about, with the mind controlled, constantly practicing meditation, becomes identified with me, centered in God. And what's the result? Shantim nirvana paramam. The eternal, the ultimate peace of nirvana becomes their possession, that they become centered in that. One thing has to be pointed out here. There are these two things. What might be called a nirvikalpaka state and a nirvikalpaka knowledge or realization. Nirvikalpaka means without any movement, without any alternative. The mind just remains still. That's a state. And it's a very valuable state. But it is attained with effort, and whatever is attained with effort will also be lost. You will attain that state, but you will also come out of it. One goes into samadhi. Whatever you go into, you'll also come out of it. It's automatic. It will come out sooner or later. But what is permanent is what is called nirvikalpaka bodha, the realization that I am the one consciousness which is ever the same, which need not be made peaceful. This awareness, it's like an ever-shining light that is always there. The whole purpose of meditation in Patanjali Yoga is to realize what I truly am. It's not really to make the mind calm. Making the mind calm, making the mind still, making the mind deeply meditative is just a method of realizing what lies beyond the mind.